technical issues are resolved. It is 1:10 in the afternoon. My name is Malin Marquez, and I welcome you all to the Ponce de Leon Foundation webinar that's going to review the RFP that we will be releasing on Tuesday, July 14th at 9 a.m. in the morning. We have a presentation for you, but that we're going to go through, and we're going to walk you through everything step by step. And then we also have a question and answer session towards the end. I do want to acknowledge the staff that is here with me. And I'd like to start with my wonderful board members. I have Dr. Evelyn Loriano, that's waving. I have Purcell Jackson, that is waving. And then in terms of staff, I have Valerie Camejo, Julian Ramos, and our Senior VP, Director of Marketing, Christina Sanka. We also are here today with Guille Santana, which will help us and walk us through the website that we have developed. With that said, I'd like to go straight to the presentation. And right now we have 187 individuals here. This meeting is being recorded. So I would rather that you pay attention and maybe jot a little bit of notes, but pay close attention to what we're doing. And then you could go back to the recording that we will house on our website for your convenience. Let me introduce myself. Most of you may know me. My name is Malin Marquez, and I am the Executive Director of the Ponce de Leon Foundation, but I also wear dual hats. I am also the Executive Vice President, Chief External Affairs Officer for Ponce Bank. So Valerie, as soon as you can share the presentation, let's do so, please. There's a trick for being able to see some of the participants and the presentation at the same time. If you have it in gallery format, and let me know when you're ready, Val, to share. Okay. And you could see both the presentation on the left-hand side, and you could see some of the participants on the right-hand side, and that'll give you a better experience of the webinar. When she starts sharing, there's a little arrow that pops up when you go to the edge of the presentation on your right-hand side, and you can move that towards the middle so that you can see more participants. With that said, we are here for the review of the RFP and website. Today is July.
You don't, hold on one moment.
Okay, technical.
Yes, we want to swap this view, but unfortunately, there we go. I'm just trying to make sure that I can see anybody else that gets on. So sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. So right now we have 189 participants. Welcome. Next slide, please. The foundation was founded in 2017, and it is a 501c3 entity unto itself. It provides grants to nonprofit organizations throughout the entire service area that we have. The Fireflies, DJ is recording.
That's not Guille. Anyone that has Firefly, please, we would
Whoever
ask
has
that you.
Firefly, then take it off, please.
Yeah, we're gonna remove it. So.
Okay, thank you. And basically, we cover the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, certain parts of New Jersey. So if you are an entity that is not in those boroughs, we do not fund outside those boroughs. The mission of the Ponce de Leon Foundation is basically to help strengthen the communities that we served through Ponce Bank by supporting some of the causes and organizations located in any one of the counties that the bank has branches at. The foundation and the bank are two distinct entities, and I would love for you not to confuse the two. Next slide, please. The bank was born in the Bronx in 1960. It is a certified community development financial institution. It's also a minority depository institution. And the bank really, since its inception, has never wavered from the mission and has reinvested more than 80% of the assets directly into the communities that it serves. Next slide. The moment I finish, you could go. The staff I've introduced, but here's a closer shot. We got Julian, you have myself, and you have Valerie. There are some other staff, but we are the key. We are the ones that will be receiving your wonderful RFPs and will be doing the initial review. So without this staff, I'd be in really hot water. Next slide.
Fun there. Eat and drink.
I
If
want
you've
to,
watched this,
London,
just let me know you're done.
Kendall, can you please mute yourself?
I'll take
Thank
care of
you.
muting, Madeline. Don't worry.
All right. The foundation awards local nonprofit organizations throughout the entire city, and these are the focus areas. We're not concentrating on any one, we're concentrating on all. Okay? So we do affordable housing, the arts, education, economic development, healthcare, senior services, social services, and youth services. We do them all, and we don't preface any one of them over the other. That is how we are a different foundation from all the other foundations that may have a focus area that they want you to concentrate on. We are focusing on all of them. Next slide, please. I want to give you a historical perspective so that you understand the competition that's going on right now for the funds that we have available. Last year alone, and we've been doing this for 9 years, we received 186 RFPs. 120 of those passed to review, and we'll get later on into how we review. And after all of that is said and done, we awarded 31 grants amounting to $635,000. The chart here gives you an idea of what myself, Valerie, and Julian are going to be doing. So out of the 186, where there were 120 that was fully completed, there were 5 duplicates, there were 55 incomplete, and there were 6 over the $30 million consolidated asset restriction that we have, and we will go through that in the RFP. So that gives you an idea of the breakdown. Together, the dollar amounts that was requested from us was $4.6 million. Next slide, please. Since the beginning, we have done 173 organizations and provided $3.6 million. Next slide. We're going to now take you on a trip to our website. So we're going to stop sharing and we're going to allow Guille to share her screen so that we can take you to our brand new website. This website, and when you get ready, Guille, I will continue to speak. This website is totally brand new.
Nice.
It has revamped.
Nice.
It goes live on July 14th as well when we release the RFP. So Guille, take it away. Oh, okay, right here, when you land on our webpage, you're going to see this, investing in our communities. If you scroll on down, it has buttons up on top. The first thing it tells you is that we're not opening it up until July 14th. So if you go and visit us now, you're going to see this in yellow telling you, oh, whatever, we're not opening yet. We'll open July 14th. We are investing in our communities in numerous ways through all the focus areas that we spoke about earlier. Please move on down so they can take a feel. This is where you're going to live and breathe in terms of, it has an About Us section. It continues to have, if you scroll on down, it talks a little bit about our mission. And it has the previous annual reports that the foundation issue. And then there's a button that you can see and click on it, and it'll take you to another side of page that will show all the grantees throughout the years. Okay? Let's go back a little bit, Guillermo. On the top, we've already talked a little bit about our mission. We've talked a little bit about our grants and our grantees, but where you're going to go is to the button that says apply. And when you apply, this is the first step. Please move up a little bit, Guille, so that I can tell them. The first thing you must do is you have to print out the RFP. You got to download the RFP guidelines from that yellow button. Okay, it will help you figure out what it is you need, what it is that we're looking for, and it prepares you to apply on the website. Without that, it gives you all the instructions that you will need. Okay? This is the automated part, but you still got to print it out and you should read it a couple of times and make sure that you follow directions. A lot of we shared with you our experience last year, and the 55 that were incomplete, it became very obvious that they had not followed directions and that they had not read the RFP. So take a note of that because that is very important. So let's assume for a moment that you've downloaded the RFP. So step 2 would be to start filling out the form, and you would put in your name, your last name, your email address, and confirm it. And then the phone number, street, the particular information that's going to help on the back end of this, prepare the Excel spreadsheets and the information that we're going to require. You must identify the amount requested. You must identify the focus area. There could only be one focus area, and allow me to explain something right now. If you do 50-50, then pick that focus area that you do more of. Okay, and that's the focus area that you would select. The region is the counties where we have our branches. And if you're not in those counties, then you do not qualify. And then the organizational name. I advise you to, after you've read the RFP, to get all of your documentation ready and name them according to what we're asking for. And have those ready so that when you go into the website, you already have them in a separate area where you're going to then add them onto the RFP. And ask you for the information, the grant application cover form, the grant eligibility quiz. Continue on down here.
We don't really understand how this happened themselves either.
It's going to ask you.
Sorry, quickly, Madeline. I know that please just follow along based on this. Do not go separately on your own to the site at the moment. It is gonna ask you for a password. Remember, our information is not live yet. So this is why you guys are getting it here. So please stay focused on this presentation, not the website on your own.
Yes. On the top of the website, it tells you we don't open until July 14th. So you're not going to have access to the information that you have access to right now. Okay? So please don't go traveling anywhere right now. We need you to be with us for the next 40 minutes. Then you could go traveling on July 14th. Okay. So it'll ask you for the program narrative, everything that we want from the RFP. You have to have ready, so then choose the file and submit it. Keep going on down. All of the financial. We're going to go through the RFP so that we help you to realize what you need to be ready with. But all of this, keep going, is directly everything that you have to give us. And then you're going to read the disclaimer. You're going to check that box and you're going to hit submit. I'm going to show you also, I don't know if we're going to go there, the timeline for what's going to happen this year. And we open on the 14th. We close at 5 p.m. on August 14th. I will advise you not to leave this for the last minute. Allow me to explain further. If you start submitting your application at 4 p.m. and you manage to do it by 5 p.m., you would be safe. If you start by 4:30, at 5 p.m., ladies and gentlemen, we are shutting down the portal. And we will not open it for anyone under any circumstances. So please understand that you need to submit as early as possible. Okay? So we will start then reviewing and doing what we have to do. There's a piece of the presentation that will tell you what we do while everything's going on. No one is going to get notified of the status of the RFP until December 4th. So please do not send any emails asking us for the status. Do not ask us to do this prior to December 4th. Everyone will be notified at the same time, whether it was incomplete, whether it was out of the service area, whether you got an award, or the sorry letter where I'm sorry your application did not get funded this year. Everybody gets notified on December 4th. And then the grant funds get released prior to December 31st. I also need to be very clear as to when this grant starts. It starts on January 1st, 2027. If you are applying for a program in 2026, you would not qualify because these funds start January 2027. There is a semi-annual report that's required
So
by
what we
June of
doing?
2027. And
So,
there
you know, I'm
is
trying to
an
still keep
annual
it- I got-
report that is required by December of 2027. So what else do we need to show them in here? In case, can we go to the in case they forget? Oh, let me tell you what's new. You all are wonderful individuals that have questions, so we have tried to beat that in the past. For example, we have a list of frequently asked questions with their answers so that you can feel free to go back in there and it'll show you. If you press on when does the RFP close, if you press on plus mark, it'll give you the answer. So it's the majority of questions that we normally get and what their answers are. This is new. We did not have this in the past. Okay. And again, it highlights the timeline and key dates. But every question that we have thought about or that we got a lot of emails in the past for, we have included in this frequently asked question document. It goes again through the process. And I like to highlight the one that says when they've missed a document. We have provided for the first time also. In the past, if you had not provided the correct document or if you missed something, you would need to resubmit the entire application all over again. That's how last year we winded up with 5 duplicates, okay? This year, what we have done is that we've created a form, we've created a button that will say, can I edit after submission? And what we have done is said yes, and then you will click that button there. So if you can click it, and it'll take you to missing attachments submission. And here, you could only submit those that are missing. Do not, please, do not add the entire RFP here. This is only for what is missing, and then you're going to be issued, if you go back up a little bit, Guillen, when you submit your RFP, you're going to get a special ID number. That ID number belongs to you only. Okay? And that ID number you're going to need to put it in here if by any chance you submitted something that you forgot. So it starts with the submission of the ID and then your name and address and your email. You must put in there the email that you applied for in the first place. Do not use a different email because that will not work. And then you're going to then, please only submit the missing or the revised attachments. Do not, and we're saying it again, do not submit the entire package here because we've made it easy for you to see which one you missed and you go directly to whichever one it was that you missed, and that is what you submit. We've listed all of them. Go down, Guillen. We've listed them all. It doesn't mean you put them all. You only put in the one that is missing. And you then submit. Okay? What else do we need to get down to the frequently asked questions?
Madeline, the only, yeah,
Now
this
we-
is what I was gonna say.
Sorry,
the
now,
only
we
thing-
go through the actual, yeah.
Right. So once you submit, folks, you are going to receive a thank you for your submission email. In that email will be the reference ID number for your submission. You must get this email. If you don't get the email, then something went wrong.
Madeline, I'm sorry. Can I just make one clarification if I may? It's a pop-up on your screen that'll appear automatically when you submit, not in an email. We thought that this was a more efficient process to give it to you right away. So this, please take a screenshot of it and keep it for your records, so you can refer to it later.
Okay, so then wait a minute, hold on, folks, while we edit this. So then what I would like, Guille, is for those instructions to be placed there. I want right after that a submission ID number for future reference. Say, please take a screenshot of this.
No problem. We'll add that.
Okay? You see, folks, we are working at this as we move along. So then this is what you will take a screen action from And it'll give you the name, the last name, the email,
to my-
confirm the email, and all of that. And then give you the information that you submitted as part of, and it'll list the documents that you have submitted. And then, of course, it says a member of our team will contact you if additional information is required. You need to remove that, please. You will not be contacted. You will not be contacted until December 4th. And then we have, if you forgot, in case you did, if you forgot any other attachments, we give you an additional link here so that you can submit what's missing. So please, we will not, and I'm being very clear, we will not contact you for any additional information. What else should we show them, or is that it on the website?
I think that's it.
Okay, it's 1:30. I need you, thank you, Guille. We do want to review, we have 192 people now on this call. I do want to review the RFP with you. Or what's next on the slide?
It's the RFP. One moment, actually, it's just the enhancements that we made. We can give you a quick recap on that.
Okay,
Oh, Jesus, I lost you guys. Hello?
I'm here, but we don't see it sharing.
I don't even see you guys. I'm not sure what happened right now.
All right. I
You
need
guys
to-
are
Let's just go to the RFP. If you could just share the RFP.
Madeline, I do not see the Zoom at all. I cannot do anything right now. I don't know if you guys see me, but I don't see anything going on. So give me one moment.
Julian, is there a way you can share the RFP?
Yeah, I'll see if I can do it online.
Well, Valerie, you see, technical. That is Zoom.
Okay, got you. Hold on. I
Okay.
clicked some weird button there, guys. Okay. So just really quickly, this is again a recap of what Madeline just mentioned, our enhancements and some resources that we have placed in the website for you all once it's officially live. Again, we've updated the site to ensure some convenience and ease. I did see that some of you said that it's more user-friendly. We're very happy about that. That was our goal. The session will be recorded. It is being recorded and we will be uploading on the site. So we will share that on the site where you can refer back to. We've also created the FAQ section. So if you missed anything here on this call, please refer to this item first before you try to navigate anything else. We've automated all the RFP so that it can easily be submitted electronically. And upon submission, you'll receive a unique ID number. If you accidentally missed uploading any document, you'll also have the chance to revise it at any time before August 15th closeout. I know we have a few questions in the chat. Let's just get through the RFP first, and then we'll be sure to go to your questions. We're pretty sure there's a lot of these questions will be answered shortly. Let me go and share that.
No, share the RFP, please. We're gonna go step by step on the RFP, so there are no hopefully no misunderstandings in terms of what it is that we're looking for. And that's why we're asking you to please download it first, print it out. It's recommended for the new people that came in because now we have 192 individuals on this call. So this is what it looks like. It is fillable, and it talks a little bit about Ponce Bank and also the foundation and when the due date is and who we qualify for the grant. Next, and this grant cycle starts January 1st of 2027. So if you have a program that you're submitting for this year, you will be disqualified. This is for 2027 grant period. Next cycle. Next page, please. The next page 2 of the RFP is the grant restrictions. You must be a 501c3 or nonprofit organization that can prove you are. We do not fund religious, political, fraternal, quasi-governmental entities or individual activities. The minimum is 5,000 and the maximum is 30,000. All entities applying need to submit the required documentation, no exceptions. That is how we wound up with 55 incomplete applications last year. All entities must submit the required documentation, a limit of 30 million in consolidated assets, and this includes subsidiaries and parent companies. So if you are going to send a financial statement that has more than 30 million, and then try to, I'm going to put this very delicate, try to convince us otherwise, it will not work. It is what is reflected on your audited financial statements as of whatever date they are. Again, we have in here the dates that are important that you should know. July 10th, we're doing the webinar. The 14th, we go live. August 14th, we close down. And then everybody gets notified December 4th. Everybody gets the grants before December 31st, and everybody starts their grant period on January 1st. We are requiring that the entities provide attend to 4 meetings every quarter. We are requiring a 6-month report and a 12-month report. All of this is what's in already in the website. We ask that you do not combine the attachments. We have bolded and we put it in black. We also provided you with a link to the website. Okay? And they all have to be submitted via the portal. Do not email them to us. Do not mail them to us, or through the portal. So if you go down to the next section, we go into what the attachments are. So you have to follow these instructions. That's why we're asking you to please print it out. And then only use the templates that are provided to you in the RFP. So the first one is, of course, the grant application cover. The second one is an eligibility quiz that you should complete. Both of these are attached. And then the program narrative needs to be, if you go further up, it needs to be double space. There's a certain font that we would like for it to be. Go a little bit further up. Don't go to the next page yet. It tells you what we're looking for and how we're looking for it further up. There. 4 pages. It cannot be no longer than 4 pages. This is the narrative. The narrative does not include the attachments. It's 4 pages of you telling us everything that we want to know under the program project description. So it must be 12-point font. It must be Arial Times New Roman. And we're asking for the program approach, the outreach methodology, the staffing and oversight, goals and objectives, and the project evaluation. Next slide, please. We're also wondering, what changes do you expect to see in the community as a result of your project? How will success be measured? And sustainability. How will the gains be maintained after the grant has ended? There's no guarantee that we're going to fund any program a second year. Attachment number 4 is a timeline. We have not provided you an outline for that because you can use your own outline for the timeline. But you must account in that timeline the key points throughout the year that your program is going to run. For item number 5, we have created and included the budget and budget justification. Now, it is the program budget that this item number 5 is. And in the frequently asked questions, if the program has other funding, then you are to add an additional page and disclose all of the funding for the program. For example, if you're asking for $30,000 and to run the program is $100,000, then you will account for the $30,000 on our form, and you will attach an additional form with the entire program cost outlining Ponce de Leon Foundation $30,000 and what the other program costs are. That is important, folks. Okay? Then I'll move on to items number 6, 7, and 8. And I gotta tell you, this is where all of the mistakes occur. We are allowing entities to go back to audit financial statements of 2025, although we would like 2026. But items 6, 7, and 8 must all match. Most of the incomplete applications will give us 2024 audited, 2025 char, or 2024 990. None of the years matching. We've gone through at length to describe it here for you. This is why it's important that you download this, read it, and make sure that you have the documents ready. Also, we will accept, if you don't have 2025 ready, we will accept 2024 and any 2026 financials, but all of them must match. So if you have your audit financials for 2026 and you have your chart from 2025 and your 990 for 2025, you are not following the directions and it's deemed incomplete. So in that case, even though you may have your financials for 2026, we will prefer that you use the financials for 2025 that matches the chart, that matches the 990. That is the best example that I can give you. Okay? So that's explained all there. The same thing with IRS. Now let me also be
Madeline, I'm sorry. You're
Hold on.
saying 2026, but it is causing a little bit of confusion. It should only be 2025 because it's the year prior. This 2026 is now and they won't have that.
Well, some
Right.
entities do, Valerie, and this is what I'm saying. I didn't want them to make the mistake of giving me 2026 audited financials, okay, and the 990s and chart for 2025, as they will be disqualified. That is why I'm making that point. Some entities already have their 2026s. So we're gonna go with whatever year it is that you have all of the documentation is what you should be noting right now, because they all have to match. So if you're confused, if you have 2026 and you have all of it, the chart, the 990 of 2026, then you submit that. If not, 2025 is your go-to. Okay, and we're even, which is really odd of us to do, we're even going back to 2024 if you don't have all of 2025. Then that is we will not go any further than that. So we try to put an example here for you. I also want to take care of those entities that are not qualified or not legally through IRS purposes are not required to do audited financial statements. We're fully aware of that. So instead of giving us audited financial statements, we're asking you here to provide us with internally generated financial statements. Now, folks, internally generated financial statements include two parts: the balance sheet and the income statement. Do not give us one and without the other, because your application will be deemed incomplete. Okay? It must be a completed, internally generated financial statement. And then for IRS purposes, you'll give us the 990 and form if you don't have to supply anything to IRS. But we've explained everything with organizations with annual gross receipts of 50,000 or more or less. This is what you have to provide us with. You still have to provide us with documentation on your 990 and IRS, and the forms that you are required to give us are listed here as well. Next page, please. The same thing applies for the chart. Many people get confused with what to provide us. For those in New Jersey, you have to submit the CRI 300R. For those in New York, it's the chart 500. There is also, it has to match the reporting year. All right. For IRS form 501c3, it is the determination letter from IRS. It is no other document. It is the original 501c3 letter that you received. And then the detailed item number 10 is the detailed list of funding sources for the entire entity. So you need to provide that as well with amounts. There were incomplete applications last year that did not include amounts. Then comes attachment number 11, which is the list of the board of directors with the following: the full name, the affiliations, their employer, and their title. Last year, there were many applications that got disqualified because they just listed names and nothing else. And then item number 12 is a signed W-9 dated August 2026. Not 2025, not 2024. This is a stickler for us, because if you get an award granted, we need to have that W-9 right away. And then comes the wonderful good standing certificate, item number 13, which many of the incomplete applications do not have. We will go back to accepting 2025, but the good standing certificate should be dated 2026. We've given you the links to the entities that you should get that form from. And I must express here to you that we are not looking for the business entity form. We are looking for the certificate of good standing. The business entity form is not that document. And that is where the majority of the 55 entities that were incomplete submitted to us. There are no exceptions to this. So you either have 2025 or 2026. The last item that we're requiring as an attachment is that you need to let us know, which is item number 14. If you can please move on down. Item number 14 talks about the relationship that you may or may not have with Ponce Bank and or the foundation. So if you received a grant from the foundation in the past, you must disclose that. If you've received sponsorship opportunities with Ponce Bank, you must disclose that. If we've done financial masters with you, if we've sponsored events, whatever it is, and even if you do not have a relationship with Ponce Bank, you must state that as well. So a letter must be provided with any of the above described as part of item number 14. We've gone as far as to include samples of the following documents. Here's the application cover sheet. Move on. We discovered that where you got to pick and select your focus group. Here's the eligibility form that you'll find. That's why you have to download the RFP, because you have to complete that separately and insert it as a separate document. Go on down. Continue to go down to the samples. Here's the budget. And then if you have other costs, you have to attach a separate page onto that. Next, please. And stop right here. There's a sample of the chart for New York State, and we have a sample of the chart for New Jersey in the next line, because New Jersey has a different chart. And then if you keep going on down, you will see and there's pages of the chart and what it looks like. We've whited it out because we provided a sample. And we've also provided a copy of a certificate of good standing on what the sample is. It is very distinct from a business entity format. Keep going down. And the one for New Jersey. I believe that is it. We need to go really quickly back. We got 2 more minutes of so if you can stop sharing that and go back into the presentation. Technology. We've done the RFP. We want to go now into what happens after you submit this to us. Okay, so this is an overview of what our internal process is. So myself, Valerie, Julian will go through these one by one to find out if they're complete. Then if they're complete, there's reviewers, which are volunteers, and they are staff of Ponce Bank throughout the entire bank. We employ about 250 people that we are also trained by myself and Evelyn Loriano, one of our board members, to grade in these, and they've been doing it now for a good 9 years. And every RFP is graded by 3 different reviewers. And then those are then combined for your grade. Next slide, please. The grading is from 1 through 5, 1 being poor, 5 being excellent. Keep going. And then each RFP will be graded again like 3 times, and the scores will be made final. The foundation staff then completes all of the proposed rating forms and compiles a summary log, and then that is provided to our board where it's reviewed. We recommend funding and approve all of the grants to be issued during that year. We're gonna do a quick sharing of the grading form right now. If we have time, we have a minute or so, because then we'll open it up to questions and answers, so that you understand what it is that we're looking for when we grade these RFPs. And then we're going to go into questions and answers. The grading form is very deliberate in terms of what you're writing and what information that you are providing us. So do you have the form?
Yes, give me one moment. Madeline.
So in every section of the RFP that you're gonna provide us, we've consolidated in one form what the reviewers are looking for. So they're looking to make sure that you have complied with what we are requesting. You tell us about the program that you want a grant funding from. So how well does the proposal provide a clear and understanding description of the organization, its mission, its history, its program? Is number one. The statement of need, target population and community to be served, gaps in the services. So we look for you to explain exactly and write correctly what we're looking for. Evelyn, I'm going to turn this over to you for 1 minute discussion on this form, please.
Thank you. I hope that it'll be clearer to you as we move along. This review instrument that we use, the tool we use, really is map for you when you're writing your proposal. Use this as your outline.
We're not releasing this.
Yes, but this is exactly what's on the
The narrative,
RFP.
yeah.
If you
Correct.
look at the RFP, this is based on the RFP. So if you stick to those
Correct.
categories, this is what we'll be looking for. Does the proposal provide a clear and understandable description of the organization for your background and experience? So you're going to be focusing on making it very concise, very clear, and to the point. And we also want to know what is the need in your community that your program, your proposal will be focusing on. What is your target population? What are the gaps in existing services or programs? And give us a rationale for the proposed project. How will the funds benefit the community? Then you're going to move on to the proposed project description. It's very difficult to review a proposal if it's all over the place. If you start in your introduction and you're going to be talking about your program description, it's going to be difficult for the reviewers to really focus on what you're saying. So if you stick to very concise paragraphs for each category, that would make the review process for us much more easy. So when you look at the proposed project description, this is broken up into four categories. We look at the program approach. We look at staffing and oversight. We look at goals and objectives, whether they're clearly stated. We look at how you're going to evaluate the project, how will anticipate what anticipated goals, how do you know that you're successful? How will it be measured by you under your own terms? And sustainability is very important for us because this is a 1-year grant. So you're going to focus on developing this program. What are you going to do come January 1st of 2028? How are you going to maintain and sustain this program? We will be looking at a timetable and we'll be examining the budget to see if it matches with the components of your program description.
Okay.
And each one of the reviewers, there'll be 3 reviewers for every proposal, and we get the average of the 3.
All right. Thank you, Evelyn. Stop sharing this, Valerie. And go back to the slide, please. So the last slide is, or before there's question and answers, and we're going to answer because there's a lot of questions. These are the dates again, and I believe we could stop sharing unless there's another, that was it in terms of the slides, and then we'll start answering all the questions. So if you could stop sharing and we'll go answer by answer. Okay. So let me open this up and start with the questions. Can you
I
All
can
right.
help you out, Madeline, there.
I'm gonna start from the bottom up.
Okay. Mhm.
Well, you're most welcome. But one other question, are there renewal opportunities? No, every year you submit your grant, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So there are no renewal opportunities, except you have to apply every year. If your fiscal year is July 2026, June through June 27, can we still apply for a grant? Can we still apply for a grant? Your fiscal year has nothing to do with the year that you're applying for a grant for. The grant year is January 1st to December 31st. So maybe I may not be understanding that question, but that's the answer. So if your program follows an academic year, I mean a calendar year is from January to December. It doesn't matter when your fiscal year is. Could I submit
Sorry, Madeline, may we just pause on bumping any questions or putting any more questions? Let's get through the ones because there's a lot of multiple duplicates and we're gonna get to all of them. We don't want to miss anybody. So every time there's a new question, it changes the order. You were at renewal opportunities, you did.
Let me start with go over the audit financials again.
Right, let's start there so that we
It is in the RFP. What I've said is in the RFP, but I will go through it again. If all your years must match, all your documents must match, not years. So if you're gonna give me audited financial statements for 2025, your 990 must be 2025, and so is your chart. Those must match. The financial information in those three documents must match. If you give me any other year on those three documents, your application will be deemed incomplete because the instructions are saying to you they need to match. Okay, you're most welcome. If you have a specific question when we are preparing for submission, can we contact the PDL? We will not answer any programmatic questions whatsoever. And I'll tell you why. You will be putting everybody else at a disadvantage if we were to do that. So we don't answer any programmatic questions for anyone. So we treat everybody the same. Okay? Can we? Wow, this is moving. How do you recommend organizations determine how much to apply for between five? Do you recommend small organizations apply for less? That is your call. I am not going to. I'm saying to you that you can apply between 5 and 30,000. Your program dictates what to apply for. I'm not going to stand here or sit here and say to you, oh, apply for this. No, it does not work that way. You have a program you're submitting to us, and there's a cost associated with running that program. So apply for the appropriate amount is my answer to that question.
The next question is the foundation grant amount still capped at 10% of an organization's budget as it was before?
It's not. I did not see that in our budget and in our RFP. So please
follow the RFP.
Follow the RFP. It is not in the RFP, so that question becomes null and void. Next, Valerie, you want to ask the question? I'll answer.
Yes, please. And again, I'm just gonna please again ask to not put any more questions in the chat. Let's get through the ones we have. More than possible, your question will be answered there. Thank you all for the comments. We're gonna hold on the comments as well. We appreciate and obviously want to get through all of these. One moment, please.
We're cutting it close. We're gonna stay here because it's being recorded until the questions are answered. So if you want to stick it out with us, you're welcome to do so. But if you have something else to do after 2 o'clock, then that's your call as well.
Okay. I have Charities Bureau acknowledge that there are 2 to 3 years behind in sending the CHARs for the past year. Does your submission CHAR confirmation suffice?
No, it does not. You must provide the document.
Yeah. Can the funding support a consultant?
We are looking for program costs to run the program.
Correct. Okay, we already answered this one.
So I don't know about a consultant, but that's what we're funding program costs.
Okay, can we save this new online application and return it to you before we complete it and submit it, or must we prepare all text and attachments in advance and insert it and submit at once?
All at once, no
Mhm.
saving on the
No
portal.
saving. Yep. We will be sharing, we'll be sharing the deck. We are not sharing the deck, but we are uploading this on our site with the recording. What is the good standing certificate?
There is a certificate from the state that you're organized, stating that your entity, your nonprofit, is in good standing with New York and or New Jersey. So they do a background. They do a background check on everything and anything state related, and they confirm to us that you are okay with New York State. Folks, if we're gonna give funds out to nonprofits, we need to know that you are in good standing with New York State or in good standing with New Jersey, because we also fund New Jersey. So a good standing certificate, download the RFP, and there is a copy there as well. And we've provided you with the site you need to go to get that certificate. Next question.
Could I submit two separate application funding requests, one for our New York office and one for our New Jersey, even though we are one tax entity and operating with separate budgets?
No, one is used. Your entity ID. You cannot submit two proposals per organization, are not allowed. So figure out which one you like the best and submit one. That's a really good question, but I will give you the famous Madeline response, but we're being recorded. Next question.
Yeah. What are attachments 11 and 12? So 11 and 12.
Hold on, I
All
got
of
the
this, yep, it's all on the RFP, and our attachments are the 11 is a detailed list of the board of directors that we asked for, including full names, affiliation, and title. And attachment 12 is a copy of the W-9 that we will request, signed and dated as of 2026, excuse me.
I gotta tell you something, folks. Even that simple document that you go to the IRS website and you download it and you sign it and you date it August 26th, even that document, people submitted wrong because they gave us W-9s from 10 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever. It's like, you guys, I am begging you to please follow directions. And that was one of the easy documents. If you get the grant, that's the document. It has to be dated 2026. It cannot be dated 2025. That is for our internal auditing purposes that we need it. Dated the year that we're providing the funding. So if you give me anything other than 2026, your application will be deemed incomplete. Next question.
If we are a New Jersey-based organization, in order to be eligible, does the organization need to be based in Union City, or is it okay that we provide services in Union City, or that we provide services
You
to
have to be
individuals?
provided in Hudson County, the county where we provide services to the counties where our branch is located in. So our branch happens to be in Union City, but that is not the county. Okay? So I hope I answered that for you.
Okay. Do funding sources include all contributed and earned, interest earned, etc.? Basically the whole total of the revenue?
It's a list of funding sources that from every area you get. No, I do not. I'm not interested in knowing how much interest you made on that money when you parked it in the bank. That is not what we're asking for if you read the directions. We want a list of the funding sources, their names and amounts. That is all. Read again, please. Read the RFP and provide us with what we're asking for. It should not include interest.
Okay, we've indicated in a few forms on the RFP are fillable. So those need to be broken out and sent separately, or is
Yes.
each form provided and downloaded from the site individually?
No, they're not. We don't have any forms on the site. So let's be clear about that. The one form we have is the one you have to download. And when you download it, we advise you to either print it out, complete it, or if it's fillable, you can fill it out separately and save it separately, because you have to attach them separately. So part of your download is to go in there, complete, and then save that one page separately. Next.
I'm okay. Sorry, I just want to clarify a little bit for also for my sake because it is a little choppy there. The site right now does have a section that is electronic for you to fill everything that's on the RFP into the site directly. But you also have the opportunity, and we gotta confirm how they will send the RFP then.
I would not say that, Valerie. That's why I said what I said. They need to the first thing, step one, is to print out the RFP.
Yeah, that's step
Then
one. But the
download
questions,
it. So when you download it, you're able to complete it. And I believe that you can save that page because we only want that one page as the attachment number 1 or attachment number 2. It is not separated. When you download, it's not going to be separated automatically. So I'm hoping that we answered that question.
Barbara, if you're still on it, because I am a little confused still on what exactly the question is because I'm not understanding exactly on terms of submission. But we'll move on. Do we need to submit data statistics?
If in your program narrative is 4 pages, double spaced, 12 font. So if you find a way to submit that information on that, good luck to you. I am not interested in data statistics. If you're able to take that data statistics and write about it and tell your story, that is what we're interested in. We're interested in knowing and understanding your story of this program that you want to do and how you want to go about doing that program. So I'm not saying yes or no. Data statistics is a lot, but you can include it in your narrative as long as you don't give me a table. I mean, you only got 4 pages, right? So I would use that real estate of 4 pages very wisely.
Just really quickly, it is single space, not double space, Madeline. That's how we have it on the
Okay,
RFP.
fine.
And just because I know I saw it earlier as well, so I hope that answers that question too.
Okay.
Are there content or word limits to each section?
No, there is no content. There's no word limit. There is a page limit. On the narrative, 4 pages. So everything, this does not include attachments. Remember, this is your program narrative. Next question.
Are you likely to fund immigrant legal services in or English classes?
I am
This
not
is more
answering that
program
question because
driven,
that is a
yeah.
program question.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Do you know which applicants bank with Ponce?
That is not of any importance here at this point in time. We do not fund people because they bank with Ponce. The majority of the grants we provide do not bank with Ponce.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not important at this point in the stage. It never has been. We sponsor a whole slew of events on the bank side with entities that do not bank with Ponce. Of course, we would love for it, but that does not, even if you bank with us, doesn't mean you're going to get a grant. I can guarantee you that.
I think we may
You're
have already
welcome.
answered this, but as per good standing certificate, is that the same as certificate of status showing entity exists?
No, it is not.
Okay.
We've provided, folks, download the RFP. We provided you with a sample. Those are the only two. And if it doesn't look like that, it is not the document that we are requiring. That is why in the RFP, we gave you a sample. It must look like what we put into the RFP for New York and for New Jersey. If it doesn't look like that, it is not the document. Next question.
Regarding audited financial statements, will you be disqualified if you don't have one, even though you have more than 50,000 in gross receipts? We have not been required to give audited financial statements.
No, again, you must follow the directions in the RFP. We've accounted for those entities that are not required to have audited financial statements. We have said the following, that you must provide internally generated balance sheet and income statement. Those are 2 separate documents. Many of the applications do not submit both and they get disqualified themselves. A financial statement consists of a balance sheet and an income statement, both for a certain point of time of the year. So you must provide that if you do not have to complete audit financial statements. The same way you may not have to do a 990, but you must give us that 990 card with the N at the back. All of this information is in the RFP that we reviewed.
If we are exempt from filing the CHAR 500, they're a religious organization, are there alternative documents you would like us to provide?
No, if you're a religious organization,
We
the
don't.
CHAR 500 must be provided. So if you happen to be a religious organization, I'm sorry, you do not qualify. The charge required, so and in the RFP, it says we do not fund religious organizations. We've put that in the RFP. Quasi-government, religious organizations. So if you're not required because you are a religious organization, then I'm sorry, you've disqualified yourself. But that's a great question because hopefully we could clear it up.
Mhm.
What else?
There's a question about how can we access these forms? I'm assuming is the RFP forms. Again,
No.
we'll.
Then
Mhm.
that's on our website on July 14th. That is why
Mhm.
we're having this webinar.
Okay,
Okay, we're losing a lot of, did we answer the majority of them?
I'm going right quickly through these. Some folks were
Those
saying
of you that are
2026.
sticking it out with us, thank you.
Yeah, I think most of these questions are regarding financial statements. A lot of folks were saying that 2026 would not be available until 2027. So I think they wanted clarity on that.
Yeah,
What about having financials and 990 for 2024?
you're cutting it
Yeah.
really close because right now you're in 2026, so you should at least have 2025. And that's the exception that we're making, but if you don't have some forms that are not complete in 2025 and you have all of the forms for 2024, then I suggest you submit those. Because again, follow the directions. You cannot mismatch. They all have to match. So if I'm in a position that I did my audit for 2025 and I've done my CHAR, I haven't done my CHAR or I haven't done my 990, I am going to revert back to the year that I got all three. I cannot get more explicit than that, folks.
Okay. Someone commented, I think the 2026 financials is not possible since the application is due before year end.
No, the application is not due before year end. It is due on August 14th. So let's be clear about that. But I understand that question. Again, read the RFP, please. We've told you what you need to provide us with 2025. And if not, then there are answers there in the RFP as to what you can provide if your years do not match.
What is the most an organization has received last year?
The
Maximum
maximum is 30,000.
There you go.
That is also in the RFP.
Okay. Does the additional forgotten document window close also on August 14th?
Everything closes on August. That's an excellent question. Thank you for asking that. Yes, everything shuts down on August 14th. We will not accept any documents via email, mail, you name it, after August 14th at 5 p.m.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this. We've answered it. We provide the sites on where you can obtain a good standing certificate in the RFP. We will not be emailing this presentation. It will only be on the website. Can I save my progress on the application?
No.
Yeah, we already
That was
went
answered
through that.
already. The answer is no.
We already went through this one. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Let's see that the grant is project funding. Does that mean it's only for discrete time limited projects or is it for ongoing programs? I think we kind of answered that. But
Yeah, it's for whatever program you want for the year of January 1st through December 31st of 2027. We're not dictating what we want to fund and what you should know. That is your call, and that's what you're preparing a proposal for.
again, these are about financials. We wanted to just make sure years match. We already answered the question about drafts. No, we only send it all at once. Okay. More user friendly. This is good. We are based outside the city in Westchester County, but deliver programs within these counties. Are we eligible?
Your address must be in the counties that we've highlighted in the RFP. So Westchester would be ineligible. The address of where you perform must be in the counties we serve.
Okay, and I think I went through all the questions. I'm just quickly going down at the bottom again. Will you fund overhead costs as part of the program budget?
Guys, there is a list. Take a look at the budget. I'm not, that's also we will fund what it is that you say you need for this program. I am not going to answer that question to specify what you should or should not do. You are the one proposing a program to us, and you're letting us know what funds you need to run it. I don't think that, I can sit here and answer that wisely, because I have no idea what program is that you're proposing. So good question, but it's the same feeling we get about answering programmatic questions. We're not going to answer that to anybody's satisfaction, because it might be different for everybody that's on this thing.
Can you clarify whether partial award amounts are given or if required, or if requests, are either fully funded or denied?
No, we have provided many partial requests. We have tried to spread our dollars out to the communities we serve every year. So yes, partial, you may request for 30,000, which is the max. It does not mean you're going to get the 30,000. If that occurs, we will advise you and you will know that you received an award for 25,000, and we will have you at that point in time adjust your budget and your programming accordingly. So we provide partial grants, yes.
Someone commented August 14th window closes at 4:30. No, just clarity, 5 p.m. as we said.
What I said was don't start putting in the RFP
Right.
at 4:30.
Yeah, you don't want to run into any technical issues.
Unless you're going to be Speedy Gonzalez, you're going to put everything in 10 minutes, which we have tested and it can be done. You run the risk of us shutting you down while you're still trying to input your documents. So if you're all ready to go and what have you, then hey, take a chance. I think we've answered everything, right?
No, we're still getting a few more.
Oh, the new on the bottom? Okay.
If we did not receive the award, let us know. Excuse me. Okay, if we did not receive the award, do you let us know if it is because of incomplete documentation, generic final
Yes,
notice? Yes, we let you know.
We are very clear on why we have incomplete letters. We have over 30 million letters. We have out of our service area letters. We have the sorry letter, and we have the award letter. So we're very specific when we decline you or to advise you on what the status was and what our decision was. We have standardized letters for all of those. And if it's incomplete, we go to the extent of telling you what was incomplete about that application, so that it should be a learning process, right? So that you know better for the following year and correct that so that you can come back to us the following year. The sorry letter say, look, when you were graded, you had a wonderful proposal. There's no reflection on it, but we just you didn't score high enough. I cannot sit here and ask you and tell you how you can score better, because we do not review the RFPs.
Quick question.
Creativity kicks in there right away.
There's a short form and a long form version of the New York certificate status. Which should you submit?
The long form.
The long form, and it's the good standing certificate.
The good standing, there's only one page that we look for. It's in the sample. There's only one page, so I don't know what you mean by long or short. If the one we asked for that we have to sample is one page, and so that might be what you're calling the short form. But what you get back from the state is the form that we shared with you.
Right. It's like a 10 or 15-page document, but we only really need the first page that says good standing certificate and has the seal.
Yeah.
Yes, we do understand.
Yes.
Someone did provide some good advice in here about the backlog. They said to go to Albany directly. We apologize for any inconvenience that does, but that is our restrictions. We do need these forms, otherwise you are ineligible. So we have no control over what's happening with the backlog.
Okay, so we're down to 91 participants still hanging out with us. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I get through all these questions. If your headquarters is located in Manhattan and accept clients via phone, email from another borough, can you apply for that non-Manhattan borough?
Okay, you are applying for an entity that's in Manhattan that's providing service citywide. That is a program question, but I am going to answer it. So you can apply. You just have to state what your program is. We're not saying, and I've never stated in this entire recording, that you could only provide services to a certain borough. What I'm saying is that you have to be located in the boroughs where that we service, and you have to tell us about the services that you provide to the communities we serve. So that's my answer to that.
Is the good standing certificate free to apply for? I
You know,
don't believe so. I think it's a
I think the
$25 fee.
$25 fee.
Yeah, but we do provide the link that you can check that information.
All right, it is 2:21. My dog is starting to bark in the background. I hope it doesn't come out in the recording. So did we
One-
get the question?
One more thing, just a clarification question. The point of our religious organization, we are a 501c3 org, and our activities are not of a religious nature. We are exempt from filing charge due to our group exemption through the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. Are we still ineligible?
Yes,
Okay.
because your chart is through the religious entity. So while you are a 501c3 entity, then we
Did we? Sorry.
no, I'm thinking about what we did last year. You know what? I believe they were disqualified, yes. Because the chart is still part of the Catholic, it's part of the religious entity. It's not your own. So while you may be a separate a 501c3, you're exempt because they recognize you as a religious entity. That's why you're exempt from the chart. I'm sorry.
Quick thing, for the last 10 years, our 501c3 status was through a fiscal sponsor. Last year, we became our own. Are we too new to apply?
If you have that question is a trick question, and let me explain. If you have the documents, apply.
You apply, yeah.
I'm not gonna say your fiscal conduit is not the point here. The point here is you and your program. And if you have the documents per the RFP, then go for it.
Okay, I do think that might cover everything. And if you guys have held on this long, if I've missed anything, please bring it to our attention now, because we will stay for maybe exactly 2:30 to be nice.
I do want to read a comment that at least, this is being recorded. So it says, "Thank you, Ponce team. The webinar was incredibly thorough and informative. As a new development manager, I feel much more confident about the application process for this cycle." So I want to thank you all for that comment. And thank you again for your assistance and your commitment. I'm hoping that all of you and that this webinar helps everybody submit a completed application. This is why we do this. I do not like sending incomplete letters. I want all the people to be able to have a chance for their RFPs to be reviewed. Why? Because I'm not the reviewer. I got to make this fun, folks, because if not, we're going to be pulling our hairs off, right? It's proposal time. So I want to thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Madeline. I do want to one more question. Well, two. It's can we send questions via email?
Yes, you can, to the grants at Ponce de Leon
I'll put it in the chat.
Foundation.org. It is It's in the RFP. Not that you can, our email, I believe, is in the RFP or our website, but most of you have sent and got this notice because we sent out a mass mailing to the grants. So the majority of you know how to reach us, but that is the email, grants@PonceDeLeon Foundation.org. For those of you that know my other emails, I do not answer emails that go to unqualified email sources like Ponce or the foundation. Grants is the email that you should be using, please. With that said, I want to thank everybody that joined us today and that's going to be reviewing this wonderful session on their own. We might as well let people know that it is an hour and a half long, which I kind of suspected it was going to, but I really want to thank all of you that took the time out to be with us here today and for allowing us to share our knowledge and our information with you to help facilitate a better RFP process for you. So with that said, have a great